can't do this on the phone.
Hey, you're live.
I can only
now.
do this.
You're live. It's live, folks. We're live on. Wait for you. What is this? I'm not sure what this is. It's light as far as I know. But I'm here, and I'm here to let you know we have the happens when people get serious about comedy. And it hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure somewhere down the line we're going to get serious about this. But I want to bring in Mr. Mark Sweetman, who is your host. Please welcome Mark Sweetman.
Hey, thank you very much. Great to be here.
Hello.
Oh, and I put Susan on too. Well, I didn't mean to do. I didn't mean to do that, but you know, I am completely inept, so I know nothing. Oh, let me turn the music off. Hold on.
Get the music off. There you go. Well, I feel like I'm hanging out at your house now. So.
You know what? 100. You should not. I should not be doing this on a $180 Chromebook, because I think is my conclusion.
Well, we like to call that frugal planning. You're a frugal
That's
planner.
right.
You know, we could be doing it on.
Right, well,
we could probably do this whole thing on a ham radio. Really, honestly, it's like
when you get some sponsors, after you get some viewers, then you can upgrade.
There we go. You kind of feel like maybe.
You're adding too many steps to this whole thing.
I'm not sure.
Do you want your poem?
You know what? If Susan, here's the deal. Yeah, let's go to the poem. All right, let's just go to the poem. All right, we're gonna put Susan on for the poem. Here we
okay, go. lot of unhappy news and the anniversary of what Israel's been going through. So I instead devoted my poem to one person. Here's your poem. Norm Stoltz. What can I say? Unfortunately, he passed away. Remember him when you start to laugh. Legendary storytellers. Can I start over?
Of course.
Norm Stoltz, what can I say? Unfortunately, he passed away. Remember him when you start to laugh. Legendary storytellers, was good at his craft. Funny man with jokes for hours. Time to select funeral flowers. I'm choked up. I had a hard time getting through my own poem.
Got it.
That's the poem. For those of you that didn't know Norm Stoltz, you should get on YouTube and watch his humor.
Yeah.
Funny man. Sad he passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all can talk about politics next week.
Unfortunately,
I'm happy news, but that's it for your poem today. What's that, Mark?
Thank you, Susan. I was going to say, unfortunately, you and I are going to miss his funeral and his memorial.
I know. So I dedicated the poem. Yeah. So
thank you.
I wrote a poem for him.
Let's get. All right. Even though Jason's the only one in our group here that didn't know Norm. Oh, he knew Norm. Norm appeared at the Unclub. Let's get Jason out here too, so he can get involved with all this.
Jason, older.
He had Andy. I don't think I'm saying anything that Norm didn't already post on his public page, but he had esophageal cancer.
Yeah.
And at the end, it had spread. He was fighting the esophageal cancer. He had gotten down to like about 120 pounds in these last few days. And his last post was last week, and I don't know if anybody saw it or not, but he just did not look good. So this was not real. So all that were following him on his public page. Wasn't a huge surprise. People that hadn't heard that he was sick were a little bit shocked by it, because he's been performing. I mean, Susan and I saw him back in March, and he would look great. Yeah. He looked great. So,
but he talked about it in his act on a stage. He wanted to keep performing.
Yeah, he did
as much as he could.
Well, did you see that Judy Tenuta, shortly before she passed away, was still doing a couple little videos and posting them up, and
I
mean,
sure.
I think the fact of the matter is that people are able to maintain a certain quality of life and a certain dignity. To me, that's far more important. I mean, I remember watching my father pass away from cancer. I was holding his hand when it happened. and it is about just trying to keep your, trying to keep your dignity and trying to remember, the things that were good. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, I've known a lot of people who died in much less dignified circumstances, I'm sorry to say.
Mhm.
And I mean, I come
Well,
from
we
a long
all
line of,
we all pass. Norm did a good job though. I mean, he left everywhere he
did.
went. He wanted everything to be better than when he found it.
That's right.
So I mean,
It's
he was
my
helpful
understanding.
to. I mean, there weren't club owners that didn't like him. There weren't comics that didn't like him. He was just a well liked guy.
Didn't he also
Yeah.
have a regular
So
profession outside
thank you
of
for that poem,
comedy?
Susan.
You're welcome. I don't
He was
know
a
if he had a
pharmacist.
regular profession.
He was a
Yeah, that
pharmacist.
sounds right.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a pharmacist up in Holly, Michigan.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah,
good for
he was,
him.
able to do it. Yeah, there's
So wish we could attend his service, his memorial service or funeral, but we won't be able to. And so I wanted to write that poem.
it's
So
good.
we'll get back to regular headlines next week.
Thank you very
Gotcha.
much.
Or maybe
Okay.
not.
Okay.
because
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna be traveling Monday night, so
Oh, that's right. She'd be on the road. She's a
Next
traveling
week,
comic
so.
on the road. Yes.
maybe I won't be sharing a poem next week. So we'll see.
Okay. All right.
Well,
All right. Take care. I guess
changing
Mark
over.
has left the building.
Ooh.
He has for some reason.
All
Yeah.
right, carry on.
He does this every week. It's the invisible. I think he's trying to do it on purpose now. It's like,
No.
hi, Mark's
No,
here.
I've
Disappeared.
been married to him for 41 years. He is that.
There she is. There's the guy.
Hey, Sam.
I say,
Did
Hey,
you miss
how
my
you
poem?
doing there? Can you hear us?
Me?
Yeah, you.
yeah, you.
Mr.
My life is a big bucket of shit.
Oh no.
okay.
Well, my
Sam.
poem was about Norm Stoltz passing away. So
Very sad. Lovely guy.
yes,
Great.
he was. So I think Mark's coming back. So I'm gonna say good night, all.
Thank
Good night.
you,
Good night,
Susan.
Susan.
Bye bye.
Thanks for the poem, Susan.
Yeah, that's why you know.
Thanks for the memories. I've got a blood clot here. I've got a toothache there.
Oh no!
I've got my hair on fire and it's burning everywhere. We thank you. I didn't tell you the latest. Let me tell you the latest.
Okay.
About a week and a half ago, whenever I wanted to go to the bathroom for, as the French say, number deux, I had constipation. So in order to poop, I had to really strain. And now I have a bad back.
Oh wow.
Oh,
So I have a bad back, a clot in my leg, and a toothache. So everyone here can just kiss my. No, don't do it.
no. Well,
no, that would make it
I
even
mean,
more.
Sam, I'm German, but I'm not that German. If it makes I mean,
not that German.
Not that German.
I was able to recycle and actually kind of. I'm sure you guys remember hearing this joke at one point or another. We were talking. Some of the other older guys had been up on stage, and I forget what the lead-in was, but I said I remember back in the '70s when I was picked up by the fuzz. It hurt like hell.
Ha!
That's a thinker. That's a thinker. There you go.
Yeah,
That's a thinker. That's a one to drive home on. What do you mean?
So was Rodin's greatest sculpture.
the thing.
The fuzz.
Oh God! Sorry. So the tooth isn't taken care of.
Oh, I
yet?
didn't mention. I also lost my keys. There we
no.
go. Now it's a quadfecta.
It's a perfect day.
I went to two doctors today. I went to my art cardiologist and I went to my urologist. And let me tell you, that guy's a pisser. So when I
have a social life, my goodness.
So I think what happened is I think I
We
dropped
gotta stop targeting the younger audience.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You that guy. You
what do you think they're going to start a movement to get on? Get the fuck out of here! Do me a favor. tell them to form a line and blow Sammy. Okay. Gee, I hope they come over and continue to get jokes that they're too stupid to understand. Come on, kids. Uncle Sammy wants you here, but you have to stand in one line because I'm a bad shot. Get the fuck out of here.
You're in.
Oh God! I always like to spend the Sunday or the Monday evening with Sam, the fountain of joy. Just spreading the love.
Oh, I like that fountain of joy. That's
Fountain
good.
of
Fountain of
joy.
joy.
That's usually what
Sam, who always leaves it better than he found it, despite all his efforts.
Wow.
Actually,
Wow,
fountain
okay.
of joy used to be what I
Fountain of joy.
would pay a working lady after I buy her a 40-ouncer and we'd go get some rubber sheets. But that was a long time ago now.
I
there you
hurt,
go.
Mommy. I hurt all over. I'm looking at death as a viable alternative. I envy.
You're
Well,
ready.
You know, that's not Norm, is it?
No, that is Edward G.
That's
Robinson.
Edward G. Robinson.
From Soylent Green, which
Soylent
actually
Green.
has a very touching scene in it where he passes away in the movie, and Charlton Heston is crying when he's watching it, and it was very real because he knew E.G. he didn't live to see the premiere of the film. He really was dying of cancer, and if you ever go back and watch the movie, for all of its flaws, his performance is not one of them. It's a good movie, and he's great in it. I mean, we sometimes get.
Have they done the musical yet?
His name was Saul. He was Saul.
Yeah.
So,
Saul. Yeah.
And what was his real name? Emmanuel Goldenberg.
Are you really?
Oh, wow.
Oh my God! I always thought he was Italian. I had no idea.
Yeah, see, you over in the corner there. Yeah, you don't know what's going on, do you? Yeah.
No, Rock Hudson's real name was.
Where's your Moses? Where's your Moses now?
Where's your
Messiah now?
Yeah.
See, where's your Messiah now?
He was great in the Ten Commandments. Don't you dare get down on him when he had the good looking Jewish chick that they had chained to him like Jabba the Hutt had with what's her name from Star Wars, and was it Bo Derek's husband? John Derek was playing her love interest, and the guy couldn't act his way out of a wet paper bag with an axe.
Who are we talking about who couldn't act his way out of a wet paper bag?
I think it was John Derek.
John Derek.
John Derek. Bo Derek's husband.
Yeah, future husband at that point. Yeah, because at that time, Bo was still a zygote.
Was he playing? What character was he playing?
He plays the guy who's like Levy's assistant. I think he plays Aaron. He plays no, not Aaron. He plays John.
He played Aaron. He played Moses' brother, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Aaron was wasn't that John Carradine? No, it wasn't John Carradine. No, but at any rate, yeah, he was the love interest of the young ingenue who was not Queen Nefertiti, who was like the older ingenue back when older women.
He spread the lamb's blood to save her life.
Yes, exactly.
I'll tell you.
All right, I get to do my. All right, hold on. I get to do my E.G. Robinson impression now. This is one I haven't done in years. I did it early in my career when there were still audience members who knew this guy and who he was. Right. So here's my impression of Edward G. Robinson. All right, you guys. I got the cigar now. I'm in charge.
Remember James Cagney in that one movie where he's trying to bring Coca-Cola to Beyond the Red Curtain? It was one of his last movies before he retired, and then came back later on. His
big post-retirement movie was Ragtime.
Yes, where he
played the police commissioner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he says to the cop, "Shoot him." What, sir? Shoot.
And that had that.
Oh, speaking of coming out of retirement, did you hear Daniel Day-Lewis is talking about coming out of retirement?
Yeah. I guess he's shooting a movie as we speak.
A gift to all of us.
Yes, one of the best actors of his generations. If
you think about a guy who went from My Left Foot, to There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Just stop it there.
And then Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. Oh, that was it, baby.
Yeah.
And that he was not
You know.
able to get in a movie with Meryl Streep in some way or another, because the two of them going toe to toe would have been a joy to watch.
It
Meryl
really
Streep
would.
she could read the phone book, as we say. She could read the ingredients to a package of cereal.
Now
And it would-
see what you did there, Jason.
Yes, sir.
You just talked about something the kids know nothing about. Two things:
So they're-
reading and phone book.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah, that's so true.
What is this reading you talk? What is this reading you talk of?
The
Phone
phone book
book.
was the thing they would wrap around a large bottle so that when the policeman hit you, it didn't leave any marks. That was, that's my memory of the phone book.
Well, as
A
we
cop
learned from
taught
the
me a
grift-
great trick about phone books.
as we
it
learned from the
was-
grifters. Oh, go ahead.
If you fold it across, right?
Yeah.
And then drop it, it'll open up to that section again.
Yes. And God, remember, and of course, the best phone book in cinema scene ever comes from Steve Martin in The Jerk.
Oh God.
When he sees, I was tripping my balls on acid when I saw that movie for the first time.
That
And-
movie. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I mean just him going, "This is my name in print. This is the sort of fun." He was able just to be that goofy.
The phone
Steve
books are
Martin
here. The
character.
phone books are
The
here.
phone books are here. I mean, it was sort of that new style of comedy that had sort of been bubbling up for so long, and what a great movie.
That was a Carl Reiner film.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
didn't Gottlieb write that one too? We were talking about Gottlieb earlier on an episode.
Gottlieb.
I would have thought.
Didn't he write the guy that wrote the comedy writer that wrote Jaws? Yeah,
Gottlieb?
but Martin wasn't a screenwriter when he first started. Gottlieb. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up, mister.
Yeah,
I've never heard of him.
This is why we have Siri, and we've got more technology here than they had on the Discovery in 2001. It is yet to take over, but it's getting there. Because again, that's another thing the kids don't understand is that back in the day, if you had a computer in the house, it tried to kill you and sleep with your wife.
All right.
By Carl Reiner, written by Steve Martin, Carl Gottlieb, Michael Elias.
Carl Gottlieb. He wrote The Jerk and he wrote Jaws. Let me
Never
look
heard-
up this guy.
Never heard of him.
I've
Never
been
heard of Carl
retired.
Gottlieb. You said the last time we brought him up.
What I want to hear
I don't know who he is.
What about has anyone had a chance to see the new Beetlejuice movie?
Not yet.
The new what?
They've made a sequel or an additional Beetlejuice movie, which I
haven't seen it yet. I hear it's good.
I was explaining to my young
My
nephew.
phone's
that,
overheating, so I had to get up.
Okay, your phone is overheating. My God, what are you showing it?
I was using my phone, and it just closed up on me because it said it was overheating. I'm gonna let my phone rest and go back to my laptop, which sucks. So I'll let you guys do most of the talking. I'll control the board from here. Carl Gottlieb wrote Jaws and The Jerk and a bunch of other stuff. I should look up what he wrote because I think we've talked about this guy once before. Maybe you weren't there, Sam, on the night we did that.
What is Peter Lorre's real name?
Oh,
It's
God.
not
I'm
Peter
doing this on
Lorre.
the anniversary of October 7th.
Yeah.
When Jews got slaughtered. So
Yeah.
what is Peter Lorre's real name?
He's
I have no idea.
Laszlo Lowenstein.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, thank you.
Now, here's one of my
My
favorite.
name is Laszlo. Can I help
Laszlo
you?
Lowenstein. Now here's something I've always enjoyed. Joan Crawford's real name was Lucille LeSueur, and I always thought to myself, "What? That wasn't sexy enough?"
Why would you want to change that? That's a great name.
That's what that's like Vin Diesel. His real name was Mark Vincent. What was wrong with that?
Well, no,
All right.
nothing.
Barbara said it's probably someone else in Actors Equity named Mark Vincent.
There could have been.
All right, are you guys ready?
Yes.
I am.
Carl Gottlieb. You've never heard of him? Here he is. He began his writing career as a contributor to the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, for which he won an Emmy
I've never
Award
heard of this guy.
in 1969. He was a writer on the Bob Newhart Show, The Music Scene, All in the Family, and The Odd Couple.
Hold on for 1 second. Barbara,
Yeah.
have you ever heard of Carl Gottlieb, a writer? She hasn't either. We both think you're lying.
All right, fine. I lied.
It makes sense. It makes sense. They probably got Steve Martin because they were both on the Smothers Brothers show. Right?
They knew each other from the Smothers Brothers. Yeah. He had minor acting roles in Robert Altman's MASH and the film Clueless, and he also co-wrote David Crosby's autobiography.
Are you sure? Did he go by the name Carl Gottlieb?
Yeah, that's his Writers Guild of America card name. That's the name on his card.
It says in his card.
Let me see here. All right, filmography. Here we go.
Him in my life.
He wrote Jaws. He wrote Jaws, Jaws 2, and Jaws 3D. We can forgive him for that.
Jaws 3 made Rich Jenny's career.
Yes,
he wrote Which Way Is. He wrote Which Way Is Up. Wasn't that a black
That was Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He wrote The Jerk, Dr. Detroit, which starred.
He wrote all these things.
Dan Aykroyd.
He wrote Jaws, honey.
Dan Aykroyd. He wrote Caveman. He wrote Caveman with Ringo Starr.
And Barbara
said that there were a bunch of writers associated with Jaws. Not necessarily credited.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm just going by Wikipedia. I don't know.
I got you.
Wikipedia, that's not reliable.
Yeah, Wikipedia could have me writing Jaws.
Oh, you're right, because right here it says that I wrote Jaws too.
Although I did write Double Indemnity. But that's when I sold insurance.
Well, I would ask, especially when it comes to Jaws, did he write the Indianapolis soliloquy that is delivered in that by what's his name? Robert Shaw. Because he was also a writer in his own right.
I don't know.
Peter Benchley wrote Jaws, so
that's right.
Screenplay is
wrote the book Jaws.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it is? You misspelled it. He wrote Jews.
Jews instead of Jaws.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote Jews. See, that's where you messed up.
No, yeah. Jews would have been dun 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 dun.
Or it would have been dun 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 dun.
Sam, we got to do that. We got to write the mashup of Jews and Jaws. That would be hilarious.
And you know, it would not have started with a woman going for a midnight swim without someone saying, "What do you mean you're going into the water? You just ate 10 minutes ago."
That's funny. Did you hear what he said? What do you mean you're going in for Jews? What do you mean you're going in the water? You just ate 10 minutes ago.
Or how about we'll rename it and we'll call it He Had a Hat.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best. That is the best. He had a hat.
Let us speak in praise of Peter Benchley, who also gave us the book The Deep, which was turned into a movie which featured Jacqueline Bisset skin diving in a t-shirt.
And also had Nick Nolte going, oh, come on.
Yeah, given my proclivities, you think I would have preferred Nick, but I got to tell you, Jacqueline Bisset, I think, did a better job. I much preferred her in the t-shirt than. I mean, if I'd ever rolled over after a drunken night and Nick Nolte was lying next to me, the next scene is me covering myself with lighter fluid and setting myself on fire. And then just like, oh dear, I've made a terrible
Here's the thing
mistake.
about Nick Nolte. How was your date with Nick? He smelled of something. It was a cross between tobacco and moose urine.
And I don't know what.
You know what? Robert Shaw was in The Deep too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
He played the guy.
The thing I remember about The Deep was I was 17 years old when it came out, so Jacqueline Bisset was definitely.
Me too.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, Jacqueline Bisset is a very choice watch. I agree on that.
And sadly, we did not have.
Do you remember an actress named Charlotte Rampling? I used to have the hots.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Charlotte
she was in
Rampling.
The
I
Verdict.
used to have the hots for her when I was a teenager too.
She was in The Verdict, and she was in Georgie Girl.
Night Porter, which is one of the
And,
strangest damn movies.
I'm trying to think of all
Which
my
one?
teenage
The Night
years.
Porter.
Oh man, with Dirk Bogarde.
Yes. You know, I mean, again, Holocaust fetish sex, I don't understand, but sadly there is such a thing, and I don't know, I don't get it, but there you go. But Charlotte Rampling, you could put her in just about in a Jell-O commercial, and it would be like
She was in Zardos, wasn't she?
yes, she was
With Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, you know, see, if I'd seen Sean Connery in that outfit, I'd have been like offering to put on tanning lotion or
Yes.
the
guy with he was the guy with the long. He had a braided ponytail.
And originally, that was supposed to be Burt Reynolds, and they couldn't get Burt, but they figured, well, you know, Sean looks a lot like Burt, and he'll fit the costume, just fine. You know, we might have to put some cotton in the cod piece a little bit, but whatever, you know. I mean, those Scottish dudes are not quite as well appointed as some of the others, so there you go. But yeah, fine movie, which has turned into a meditation on the modern sort of circumstance. I'm one of the few people I can honestly say I've sat through Zardos from the beginning to the end, and I was not on drugs when I did it.
Here's my fondest memory of Sean Connery. I think I've told you all this. Jesus Christ, lad, enough is enough. You've taken 50 goddamn pictures. Jesus Christ, get the fuck out of here. My poor friend. You're taking Sean Connery's picture every 10 seconds. You know, and Connery's trying to read, you know, just before the day's shooting starts. It's like 6 a.m. And you can hear this goddamn camera whirling. And he finally looks up and smashes down his New York Times and goes, Jesus Christ, lad, enough is enough. You want me to do to you what I did to Diane Cilento?
How did it destroy your career with one I would say one offhand remark, but maybe it was an on-hand remark. I just no, you know, Sean, just a little word to the wise. Beating women is really, it's not appropriate. No, we were going to have to like put her foot down there. Can't do that. But what are you going to do?
The first Sean Connery film I ever saw wasn't a James Bond film. I saw a film called the Andersonville Tapes. Oh, no, the Anderson Tape.
Not Andersonville. I know the one you're talking about.
It was where they robbed the luxury apartment building. It was like Michael Caine's The Italian Job in a building instead of on a freeway.
What was the one Connery did with? He played a writer, and there was a very good-looking.
I know the one you're talking
blonde
about.
Woman.
Marnie?
No. He would never claim to have done that.
Oh, same. That was what Hitchcock and who that. He always had the hot. Hitchcock had the hot for Princess Grace, and she wouldn't let him get within 20 feet of him. And then he ended up dumping. Absolutely. You know, of all the people who tell the creepiest Hitchcock stories, it was Bill Mumy of all people, because he worked with him on the Hitchcock Presents when he was just a little kid. And if you ever listen to Bill Mumy, he's got nothing but nice stories about a lot of people. He doesn't go into a lot of bad stuff. But Hitchcock, he kind of was like, no, this guy was a bad guy. He would deliberately terrorize the cast. He would terrorize the crew. He had no problem terrorizing him as a little kid.
I told you the story about what he did with that tech guy.
No, what?
He said, as they're winding up for the day, he says to this tech guy, you know, this studio we're in, the sound stage we're in is haunted. And no one who stays here overnight, like to clean up, lives.
I've heard this.
And the guy says, yeah, right. He says, I'm telling you. He says, I'll bet you $100, and this is 1948 money. I'll bet you $100 that you can't stay here overnight and survive. The guy says, okay, you're on. So they make the bet. They toast it with some brandy. And the next day, the crew comes in, and the guy is crying hysterically because Hitchcock laced his brandy with a diuretic, and he shit himself for 8 straight hours.
Oh,
And he's sitting in his own
which is
stool.
what you needed last
and-
week. Which is what you needed last week, Sam.
Exactly, and still do. And Hitchcock comes up to him and gives him $100 and goes, "You win."
Finding Forrester. I don't know who was asking about
great
the film
movie. Great movie.
that Dick Connery was in, where he played the writer, where he is he befriends a teenager and is helping him with his writing career.
Yep.
Is that the one you're talking
No,
about?
the one I'm thinking of, he played kind of a rogue, and he was hitting on any woman with a pulse. And she was blonde. She was very pretty, sexy. I can't remember which one it was.
If you guys get a chance to look at it, the first Night Gallery episode is up on YouTube, which I'm sure you all famously remember is Joan Crawford being directed by Steven Spielberg, where she plays the woman who wants to see, and she gets the basically she gets some guy to sell Tom Bosley to sell her his eyes, and they have the surgery, and they take it's a temporary surgery. She won't be able to see for too long, and they take off the bandages just as New York has a power failure. It's an interesting episode to watch, and
I can't think of that.
and seeing Joan Crawford, who again you can see why even in her later years, the woman was still a very much the consummate professional actress. We all go into the mommy dearest thing, but again that's I think that's more comic book than reality. I mean, yeah, she probably was a raging alcoholic, and at times not a very nice person to be around.
Don't fuck with me, fellas.
No more wire hangers, ever.
Okay, what was the name of the actress who played her daughter?
Oh God, you got me on that one.
Oh, good question.
Diana Scarwood.
Really?
Whatever became of her?
She did some Law and Orders.
Oh, okay.
Significant parts in Law and Orders and Law and Order.
Didn't everybody?
Huh?
Didn't everybody?
Well, yeah. There was a time when the original Law and Order was on that if you were a Broadway actor and you didn't have Law and Order in your credits, they thought you were drunk. How come you forgot to put it in? Everybody did it.
And here,
to the degree that you could probably put it in your resume whether you did it or not, nobody's going to actually check. They figured, oh yeah, whatever.
Can I tell you something? There
Yes,
are people in Screen Actors Guild who will find out, who will look for your credit and see that you did it, say that you said you did it, and look it up and find out you didn't do it and pimp you to the powers that be. I'm telling you.
well, Daniel J. Travanti said back in the day that Gunsmoke was like that, because one of his first TV roles, was being on Gunsmoke, and and that series had been on television. It was the longest running series at the time. So if you didn't have one, I remember Harry Dean Stanton also saying that was kind of one of those important things to have on your CV at the time was a Gunsmoke episode or two.
I was doing radio, filling in for a friend of mine in Denver. So, it's 2 hours difference between where I live and Denver. And It was a movie. I don't remember the name of it. It wasn't anything you want to, add to your resume. But anyway, I'm looking at the cast list and I realize that there is an actor strike, right? So most of the actors who were in it were either not in SAG. There wasn't SAG-AFTRA at the time. Not in SAG, or they used fake names. And my favorite fake name in that movie was Just in Case.
Yeah. I like
But
that.
yeah, that's what some people did. They would fake a name. You know, they'd get paid. I'll tell you what I did that showed my loyalty to SAG. SAG was on strike. This is 1988, and I was offered to be a spokesperson for Pergament, the pharmacy, the hardware people, and I wouldn't take it because it wasn't union, and it was nice. It was really nice money. I wasn't going to do it.
Well,
You know.
if you're already in the union, you can't take non-union work, right? Or were you
Well,
like
here's the thing.
partly?
That would
you can get away
that
with
would have been 3 years salary for me,
Wow.
and I didn't take it.
Wow.
Whereas
Yeah,
the woman I was with at the time said, "Honey, I completely understand what a total asshole you are." Yes. Are you out of your fucking mind? Oh, there she is. I was big. It's the movies that got small.
Smaller. I
There
am
you go.
big. Oh God. Again, another. I think Andy was the one who turned me on to Sunset Boulevard, if I'm not
Really?
mistaken. Yeah, I think
Great film.
one of those movies I'd heard about all my life, but I never actually sat down and watched the whole thing. And you're like, oh my God, there's Jack Webb. Oh my God, there's Bill Holden.
Jack Webb, yeah.
Yeah. He's got like 5 lines in it. One of those great sort of 5 and under kind of things, and
He plays something completely different than the detective, like an upbeat
right.
guy, completely different than his normal Jack Webb.
First time I saw Sunset Boulevard, I watched it with Bill Sheft.
Wow.
We were working together. He was, and he said, "Hey," and this is before we had streaming services. You had to know what time of day it was going to be on. He says, after the show tonight, Sunset Boulevard's playing on HBO or whatever Cinemax or whatever the service was that the hotel had. So I went over and watched the Sunset Boulevard with him after our show.
Yeah, I bet you guys got to.
Was he able to talk clearly without Letterman's balls in his mouth?
This was way before he even knew Letterman.
Oh, okay.
This was in fact, he used to, I found out he used to bring his golf clubs whenever he came to Detroit because he loved the golf course that was near my house, and we'd always go out and play there. And
that's not the golf course that's near the Brightmoor, is it?
Actually, it is. It was the Billy Rogel course that is now that the church that were both Aretha Franklin and Rosa Parks were buried from. They had bought this golf course and were going to turn it into like a church development type thing, and they just let it rot. It's just a field now. It's too bad.
They just let it.
But anyway. Bill Sheft, well, I guess they didn't let it rot. What they did was they let it grow back to its natural state instead of being a groomed golf course. But Bill Sheft and I used to play there all the time whenever he came to Detroit.
Do you know who used to schedule his comedy life around playing golf? Jeff Allen.
Yes, I've played with him before too. I played with him at the Rouge course here in Detroit. It was Jeff Allen and Jeff Jenna and me, and who else was with us that day?
Wow.
So
could you be with 2 more right-wing guys in your life?
Jeff Jenna's more right-wing than Jeff Allen, but they're both there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to say Ray Brown, the bass player. Or the bassist, I should say.
They're still both good friends. Well. Both those Jeffs are good friends of mine, though. I don't care that they're, I don't care that they're right wingers. Well, they don't want to kill me.
Politics with them, they're nice guys.
Yeah, they're great guys. Jeff Jenna hooked me up with when I moved out to LA. Jeff Jenna and Sheila Kay both sat down with me and gave me lists of people to call, and they would say, "Tell them Jeff and Sheila recommend you," and that's how I got in. That's how I started working out in LA the day I landed in town. Because I wasn't
in the same thing to me, but they said, "Listen, if you call these people and they hang up, take a fucking hit."
Oh God, it's like trying to schedule a class at the Melvin Belli School of Drama. You know, just
Melvin Belli.
School of Drama. Yeah, remember his turn on Star Trek as the evil angel in his one and only starring, or not, well, co-starring role. Yeah, the King
I
of
used to play
Torts.
golf with Dante Garza too. Remember Dante Garza?
Yes.
I used to play golf. Anytime we'd work together, he'd say, "Bring your clubs," and I'd play with him. Did you ever work for that club in New Orleans where I think the guy that owned it was connected? And the reason I say that is because he said, "Bring your." First time I worked for him, he found out I play golf. He says, "Bring your clubs next time." He flew us in his private plane down to a golf course in the Yucatan, and we played golf. And then we came back. I swear to God, I think we were just there as a beard. The golf game was just a disguise to load his plane up with illegal substances.
With stuff.
In New
Stuff.
Orleans?
In New Orleans. I can't remember.
I'm stunned.
Yoder booked it.
When I played
Yoder
when I
booked
played
it,
in when
and
I
the
when
gir-
I
and
played
the
in
girl-
Atlanta. Huh?
Yeah. I
When
said
I
Yoder
played
booked
in
it, and the
Atlanta-
girl that was his manager in the Grand Rapids ice rink was the manager down there in New Orleans. She went down there to open it up. Great room.
Big room. When I played in New Orleans, Atlanta, with Ron D'Annunzio owned the what the hell was it?
Punchline.
Punchline. Thank you. So it's like 2 a.m, and the night for them is not even started to end. Okay, and we drive
Yeah, I
to
remember
this
those
place that's an all-night club, that's all-night club, not all-night club, and Ron pulls up to this place. You got to like say hi to some certain people to get in.
Right.
And he pulls up
Give
and
him
he
the
takes
handshake.
what has to be a half a pound of blow
Oh God.
That's
and
D'Annunzio.
tosses it to the parking lot attendant. And he says, "You know who gets this, right?" He goes, "Yes, sir." And I thought, suppose he keeps it. And he goes, "Suppose they find him with a bullet in his face."
Yeah,
I said,
about
"Okay,
to say.
point taken."
Yeah, not with a half pound. No. I
Yeah.
remember my mother coming home and telling me she'd been doing lines off a 2-pound rock back in the early 80s. Yeah, we used to have a great coke connection up here in Michigan, straight out of the Medellin cartel, until they kind of figured out that whole rental car going down I-75 thing usually meant some sort of conveyance, and but there was a time, and yeah, the stuff was amazing. Oh dear.
D'Annunzio calls me one day out of nowhere and says, "Listen, I got 4 weeks work for you." And I said, "Great." So he starts, give me, and I write it down. And the second I hang up, I realize I can't do it.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
that's the week I'm moving from Boston to New York. I can't do it. So I call him back. I say, "Ron, I'm so sorry. I can't do that week." He goes, "Why not?" He says, "That's the week I'm moving from Boston to New York." He goes, "Don't you have a girlfriend?" Yeah. I said, "Get her to do the moving." I said, "Ron, we're moving furniture." He goes, "I know. Get her to move it. Get her to get some." I said, I can't do that. And so he says, "All right, maybe another week. Call me in 2 weeks." So I said, "Okay." So 2 weeks come and go. We're already set in New York, and I call him. I go, "Hey, Ron, it's said you fucked it up, man. You fucked up. Okay, you had a chance to work for 1 month, and you screwed it up. Okay, you're an idiot." I went, "You seem a little edgy, Ron."
A little too much cat. Maybe you need some decaf.
Ron, I'm not saying that you have too much salt in your diet, but I don't know what that is. But
Remember the old coffee commercials with the husband was a little too edgy, and maybe they felt he needed decaf because she said something to him, and he'd slap her across the room or some other. Oh dear.
That was a great ad campaign.
Oh my God. Again, that's another thing the kids of today will never understand. The sort of,
Great
those
commercials.
water cooler moments with various commercials that you either loved or hated or loved to hate or could quote and talk about. They'll never understand. I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Clara
That-
Peller.
It's really, you ever go go on YouTube and look up some of those old commercials sometimes. They are so long. I mean, now that you have these 10 and 15-second commercials, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
sit
30
and
seconds
watch one
or
of these
60
one of these 60-second long commercials. It's like, oh my God, how did we ever make it through these? You know?
The one that makes me laugh every time I see it is the guy who's, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. No,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not it. That's some spicy meatball. That's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
on the third bite, he goes like this. Oh, oh, oh. His mouth is on fire. And then he goes, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. You ate it, Ralph.
Well, and Clara Peller, who got busted off the "Where's the Beef" commercial because she found the beef on another ad, and Wendy's immediately canceled her national ad. I had to wonder, didn't her agent or somebody say, they're not going to appreciate because it was like a stew commercial or something like that, and
Right.
I mean, at her age, I don't know how many more national ads can you do when you're already 307 years old. I mean, royalties are not going to do you a whole lot of good in the afterlife, unless you can get them in the afterlife. In which case, I'm sure Marvin Gaye is still waiting for a check, but still, I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to screw up a good thing. But then again, ask Jared Fogle, who used to have a pretty good job with Subway, and one can only imagine how that conversation went in the executive room when it's like, oh yeah, Jared, yeah, he's doing a great job.
Jared, listen, it's about those kids.
Listen, oh, hold on, his lawyer's on the phone right now. What is this about? This guy's always, he did what? They're busting his house with what? They're pulling computers out.
He got 15 years.
Yeah, he sure did.
He's out. He's probably out by now. That was a long time
ago. He's still in, and he's going to be in hopefully for the rest of his life because he wasn't just looking at, he wasn't just looking at bad pictures. He was meeting up. He was doing meet and greets. I mean, Sean Combs got away with it, maybe allegedly for a while or whatever, but Jared was. Sean Puffy Combs, as you know, who's recently been in the news for allegedly doing stuff that involved maybe kids, maybe other things.
He's going to do more time than anyone you can imagine right now.
I don't think so.
And I'll tell you why I
Sam.
say that.
I think he's going to die. But go ahead.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'll tell you why I say that. He is the only celebrity, I think I'm right about this, that I can remember at his level who was remanded.
Yes. Well, he can get on a plane, disappear, and never come back. He has that kind of money.
Except for the fact they yanked his passport.
I know, but if you end up in I don't know what, Belize. I mean, Mark, you remember Robert Vesco because he was a Detroit guy, Vesco Oil.
I remember Vesco.
Yeah, I mean he
Vesco
took off
Oil,
a couple $1 million. And
but here's the thing. You use Belize as an example, and that's a fine example. They don't want him there. If he lands there, they will call the United States government and say, "Please get him out."
Yep.
They won't welcome him.
There's always some place if you have enough money. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, they've got him now. It doesn't really matter. He's in the system.
I'll tell you where he could land and they'd welcome him. Iowa City. Yes, sir.
The guy who went to Belize, and I can't remember what he was in trouble for, but remember McAfee, the guy that did the
computer virus guy.
The computer virus guy, yeah. He's dead now.
We can be cold as a falling thermometer in December. Ask about our weather in July.
Yeah, he ran afoul of the Belizean authorities and went on the run. And he's another one who's like, listen, if anything happens and when I'm in jail, it's not what you think it is. I mean, the food's great. I want to live. It's like, oh, Oh dear. Yeah, he slipped and fell and apparently snapped his neck in a noose or something. It's crazy, crazy how that happens.
And another
Uh,
thing, they're getting a little pissy now. If you're in a plane, and you land in a country that's not your own,
yes.
uh, you know, you get the third degree. Who's that in the plane with you? Let's see his passport. Oh, he doesn't have one? Oh, this is his passport. Let me see. All right, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at you. You don't look like this guy, Mr. Bieber. Um,
Well,
it's harder to do now.
oh yeah. No, that's
It's
true.
harder to do.
It's true. And the world is not as big not as big as it used to be.
Doesn't it sound like
Smaller.
Barbara's ripping skin off?
It does.
Yours or someone else's?
It's just a matter of time.
You guys didn't hire one of the
No, she's taping something. Barbara, 2 seconds. She's taping something up. What are you
Oh,
taping
that's-
up, Babs?
A return.
She's returning something.
I'm almost done.
I think it's a body.
what to say? It's like dinner at Roy Cohen's house. Oh, look, the maid is dead underneath the table. We need to do something about that. So
She's
Yeah.
done.
yeah, there you go.
I was wrong.
Well, hey Sam, we were talking about this before you joined us. Is an RFK Stadium, then it's still up, isn't it? Or has it been?
That's still what?
Is that still standing, or has it been deleted?
Oh,
Has
yeah.
it been removed?
Yeah, in fact, there are plans to refurbish it and bring Washington's football team back there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. Among the myriad number of mistakes that Schneider made, the former owner, okay, was moving Washington's team to Virginia. I don't know, 25 miles from DC.
Yeah.
Maryland.
And yeah.
He moved them to Maryland, not Virginia.
Whatever.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He did. He moved them away from DC. I got you. I don't need to know which state.
Anyway, that stadium held 92,000 people.
Oh dear.
And so when Washington sucked, which was for at least a decade, I don't mean a kind of sucking. I mean like you could get a hickey, okay?
Yeah.
And when they were sucking, imagine a stadium with 8,000 people, and it holds 92.
Well, it's like going to a Jaguars game.
Yes. or a is it the Marlins or the Tampa Bay team?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, and I remember I think I told you this, that the Washington, I will never call them the Commanders. That's just bullshit. But
The Washington
this
team.
Yes, the Washington.
Hey,
team.
they're 5-1. You can call them whatever they want to be called.
They're 4-1.
Oh, wow.
4-1. Okay. Right. One more win.
And
then
here's
you can
my
call them
here's my question: I was able to see that game on free TV because we got rid of cable.
Nice.
Well, Mark and I remember. Andy might, I don't know, but back in the day when you'd have to get the TV antenna just right so you could pull the Lions in from either the Jackson or the Lansing stations because they still had the
Toledo.
the blackout. Yes.
Jackson, Lansing, and Toledo, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Is this you almost done?
We used to watch the Lions on Channel 6 from Saginaw, Channel 5 from Flint,
Yeah.
Channel 11 and Channel 13 from Toledo.
Yep.
Toledo. We used to watch them in Toledo.
Yeah. But the thing about Washington, the former Redskins, they were called the Redskins in honor of one of their first coaches. And then they become the last team to integrate in the NFL. And then they become the first team to win with a black quarterback.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. And then for the last 15 years, let's face it, they haven't exactly been setting the world on fire, so to speak.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah. I just, And I remember growing up, the Redskins and the Cowboys were the arch enemies.
Oh, yeah.
Well, around
That
here,
that
of
was
course.
the greatest rivalry in all of football.
It was amazing
You could feel that stadium shake. It was so great.
when you
They
had
really-
John
really
Williams
felt-
out there.
But the thing was that when
We'll be done in 5 minutes.
when
We'll be done in 5 minutes.
when he took the team over, Snyder, the
Yeah.
first thing he did, what a putz. The first thing he did was, you had like spring training, right?
Yeah.
He charged people $10 to come see them scrimmage.
Oh,
And then he said, "Yeah, but we're giving you free hot dogs." And the guy says, "I got 3 kids with me. I'm spending $30. Are you nuts?" So then he dropped that, okay. And then, of course, my favorite story about him is that he took. I told you this story. Out of date airline peanuts, and
I
sold
heard
them
about that.
in the
Yes.
stands. Sold them.
So this guy was related to Charlie Finley. How? He was what?
Finley was a
bastard son?
great owner.
Oh,
With Finley, the Athletics had 3 World Series victories.
we were talking about them, and
Oh,
but
no.
Charlie O was also one of the reasons why they ended up with the ruling that allowed free agency, because of course
Yes.
previous to that, you had to pay compensation, and Charlie Finley was the master at getting maximum compensation and basically making sure that the guy still had to work jobs on the off season selling cars, at a used car lot or real estate. And apropos of nothing, by the way, Greg Landry passed away a couple days ago.
I
remember
sent that to Mark.
Yeah, because he used to also.
Yes.
Landry used to sell real estate in the off season back in the day.
Do you know how old Landry was when he passed?
Was he like-
77.
Yeah, and I imagine
He
he
wasn't
was
that old.
wearing a polo shirt and he had a martini or some other cocktail in his hand, because he enjoyed life after the game. He was renowned for being.
I can't believe that Sonny Jurgensen is still alive.
He's got to be up there at this
90.
point. Wow.
And is living life. He's not, he looks great. My fondest memory of him, there was a place in DC, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a clothing store. Now this is many years ago, and you'll know that when you hear me come out of this this quote. When he says, $200 for a goddamn suit. Are you kidding me? As he's walking out, and I go, "You tell him, Sonny." And he looks at me and winks and goes, "I just did, kid."
Oh, hell.
And I used to work at this nightclub. We used to sing at this night. Well, it wasn't a nightclub. It was a bar called Reading Jail. Was that the name of it? I don't know. Shit. Anyway, and Sonny was there. I guess he was 40. And he's got this 20-year-old girl on his lap, and he's talking to her. He says, "We don't have to stay here." She goes, "Oh, I know. But if you're here, I'm here." And I went, "You got to be shitting me." And it is approaching 8:59.
There you go. Yeah. Well, I hope you're feeling better there, Sam. Say that.
Well,
Yeah, me
I'd had
too.
to get a new back, a new tooth, and what else? New back, new tooth. What else do I have that's fucked up?
The lower GI.
Oh, blood. How could I forget the blood clot? Except the blood clot is getting better.
Oh,
But
good.
What is
the
that?
back is just killing it.
Oh, dear. Well,
Metamucil? Sorry.
Fentanyl
Well,
laced Metamucil?
You guys stick around. I'm gonna get rid of our live audience, and then we can chat a little bit afterwards. But
Okay.
thanks everybody for showing up. It's the off night. We're here every Monday night at 8:00 Eastern time. For the next few weeks, I'll be 5 o'clock because we'll be doing the Pacific time where I'm at. So come join us again next Monday. And thanks for joining us tonight. Fun conversation with old comics every Monday night at 8. See you later.
And to all you kids out there, Almanac. Buy one, read one,
Or Sam will come to your house and sing.
and make you listen while he reads it.
Free TV.
Listen here, you unborn